We've had a great time in Japan and we've loved almost every minute of it, but there are some things that we learned to not do while in Japan.
The first one is a little bit funny if we're being honest, but we don't think that you should miss out on the bidet. It is like Japanese toilets are just like next level. Like the mechanics, the bidet is like perfectly fit to your body. Like you can go up and down. It's just amazing.
There are so many different settings that you can use for the bidet, and in the United States I have never seen one, and especially in a lot of other countries too. I've never seen it either. So when you're in Japan, it's kind of just a unique thing to do. You gotta try it out, even if you're nervous like I was the first time. I was nervous for the first couple days, but once I tried it, I'm never looking back.
And they're not like the bidets in other countries that are just like a spray hose. Like, they're like in the toilet, you just click a little button, you can turn up the like heat, you can turn it down. Like, don't miss those.
Just try it out and, well, don't let us know how it goes for you, all right?
Or let us know how it goes for you. I'm down.
The next one is do not talk on public transportation. This is like our very first thing that we experienced in Japan. We were like wondering, like when we first got there to like the train station and the track, we were like, oh, it's like extremely quiet here. Like, are we supposed to be quiet? And we absolutely were. And when we got on the train, pretty much no one was talking. It was all just silent.
Completely silent. We even started to film and I like started to say something and then I was like, I feel like I can't talk. We're in Tokyo. I feel like I can't talk. Definitely do not talk on the phone when you're on the train. Like, that is a big no-no.
Absolutely not. I don't think in our entire time in Japan we saw one person even taking a phone call. And that was just like so different than other things. Like, I've been on the subway in New York City and it's...
I mean, we've been in Europe, we've been in trains and planes and metros everywhere.
Yeah, but in Japan, do not talk on the public transportation. But there was one time where we were in Kyoto and we were kind of on like a local train. And we actually did hear like quite a few people talking, and they were locals.
Yeah.
I guess like if people are coming home from work to go to their houses, maybe they can talk a little bit more.
I don't know. It's kind of, it's either like, I feel like it's either really loud or really quiet and there's never any in between. Like either everyone's going out on a Friday night and they're like having a good time with their friends, or they just don't say anything. This one we don't really understand, but you should not eat or drink while walking.
This is something that we had to experience a couple times. Like, we were walking to one of the things we were trying to do for that day, and we stopped by a convenience store and we just got, this is like, we have a sandwich. This is perfect to like walk and eat it on the go, because you know we're trying to make a train also. But then as we were eating it on the sidewalk, walking by some people, we got a little like, I guess, questionable looks.
Yeah, everyone was just staring at us. And I was like, I'm just eating a sandwich. But yeah, I mean, I think my best guess would be like they don't want food on the ground, or like they don't want you to litter, which totally makes sense. Like, I don't want that either. But it's just funny because like it's something that you would never think about, because in my mind I'm like, me standing here and eating is the same thing as me walking while I'm eating. Like, I feel like the chances of me spilling are pretty equal.
The streets are extremely clean in Japan. I mean, we went to
they're beautiful.
3 or 4 different cities, and yeah, like they were great. And so definitely makes sense. And that goes into the next point of don't litter while you're in Japan. You will get fined. At least that's what the signs say.
You shouldn't litter anywhere, let's be honest. But you definitely shouldn't litter in Japan because they will notice. And which is good. I love that. I wish more places were like this. Which is funny though, because there's like no public trash cans. Like, there are no trash cans anywhere. We like would just carry our trash around with us all day long.
And I guess, okay, I can see like maybe the trash would like occasionally blow out of the trash can.
Or people miss and they don't want to pick it up. But honestly, whatever Japan is doing, they're doing it right. So if the trick is to not walk and to not have public trash cans to make your cities look this pristine and clean, then I'm down with it.
And there's another thing that will also keep the cities clean. There's signs like everywhere to not smoke. And I'm sure there's certain areas. There's this like one time. Yeah.
There's like little boxes that you can go into to smoke. This one is I don't know. I'm an affectionate person, but I don't think when you're in Japan, you're really supposed to show like public displays of affection, which was hard for me because like I just want to like hug Jacob all the time.
But we really didn't see like anyone doing that in public, like couples. Like,
although, okay, so nobody does it. Like nobody does it. But we went to this one park and there was seriously people like laying on the ground like making out, and I was so shocked. Like, I feel like that's kind of shocking anywhere to just see people rolling around, laying down, making out in public. So there's like a park exception? I don't know.
Yeah, that only happened like in that park. Yeah. And I think it's just because it's a special place just in the grass, like away from just like people just going about their daily lives. And
yeah.
So yeah, we're like kind of confused by this. We're like, don't show a public display of affection, but
if you're in the park, it's okay to roll around.
But this one is 100% of the time, do not wear your shoes inside. We checked into this traditional style Japanese room at a hotel, and before we even walked in the door, he said, do not wear your shoes inside. It is very important that you don't do that because you don't want to dirty up the room.
I love that. Like, at our apartment back home, I make people take off their shoes too before they come inside because it's actually pretty gross if you think about it. Like, you're just walking around, I'm sure you've stepped on poop, urine, just like a bunch of different gross stuff. And then you just walk into somebody's house and like bring it into their house.
And
like,
stay for hours with just like tracking it all around.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
I love that, Japan. Yeah, that's amazing. This is probably the best thing that could happen to us. Jacob and I love drinking water. Like, we're from Arizona, so you pretty much always just have a bottle of water right next to you. And in Japan, you can drink right out of the faucet, and it tastes delicious.
Oh man, especially after spending time in Thailand and in Vietnam, and you're just not supposed to drink the water at all. It's just not clean enough, and like we totally understand that. But in Japan, the very first hotel we were in, it said just drinkable water right on the sink, and we're like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no need to buy bottles of water unless like maybe you try out the sink water and you're like, I don't really like the taste of it that much. Then it's okay. Like, I guess there's exceptions, but every time you like go to a restaurant, for example, like they just have like they provide you drinking water. In a lot of countries around the world, that does not happen.
Yeah. And like just to go back to that, like we wouldn't even really drink the faucet water back home in Arizona. Like it just doesn't taste good. But it tastes good in Japan. So it's just like such a win. Such a win.
Speaking of restaurants, something that you need to know and you don't want to be embarrassed by when you try to do it, do not tip. There's not even an option in restaurants to tip. This is the price, and whatever you see on the menu, that's what you pay. When we were coming into Japan, we knew about this, and so we didn't even try to, and we actually heard that they might get offended if you try to offer them a little bit extra money.
Yeah, like they're like, no, I just do this because it's my job and I want to do my job well, and I don't need you to pay me extra for just doing what I'm supposed to do. These are all the things that we think that you should not do while you are in Japan. If you live there or if you have traveled there, let us know if there's anything else that you think that people shouldn't do.
And we think Japan is a beautiful country and a great place to travel or maybe even to live. We haven't experienced living there, but it sounds pretty cool.
We appreciate you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.